Hola amigas, how are you doing today? My name is Hesy Landesbaum, the founder of Hablando Entre Mujeres USA, and today we have a special guest. Her name is Paulina López. She is the CEO and founder of the business of We. I'm very happy to have you here, Paulina. How are you?
I'm great and excited to be here with you. How are you?
Great. It's been a long time since last time we were able to chat. So I'm very happy that you are here with us. As you know, here at this podcast, La Mujer, Sus Finanzas y Más, we basically talk about the importance of financial education, how we're supposed to be prepared to face any rainy days. And I understand that you're working with business owners for a long time. I would like to share with our audience of Hablando Entre Mujeres, who's Paulina? You could share with us a little bit about your story and what is what you're doing right now to support women.
Well, thanks again. I'm so grateful for being here and grateful for your support. So my trajectory, because we all have that story, that path that we bring to entrepreneurship, it was a unique one. Obviously, we all start with the motivation and inspiration to climb the corporate ladder. That's what our parents teach us, and the Latino culture is all about it. But I always had this entrepreneurial spark in me from a very young age. And I felt it more so as I was climbing the corporate ladder. And sure enough, as a side hustle, because I was a single mom, I was always supporting small business owners with business growth. So clearly, managing and growing other people's business, that lit the spark for me to take the leap of faith into entrepreneurship in my corporate world. And I will say it did have a unique component to it, because in corporate, I was in both finance and human resources. So both gave me extreme value working with people and working with numbers. And of course, with numbers, learning to streamline operations and growing the businesses. But where it really changed the game for me was in HR, because I saw firsthand true potential being denied opportunity based on how they looked on paper. So it was definitely a passion of mine to support others and to identify these leaders as they grow their own personal brand.
That's amazing, Paulina. And actually, I was happy to collaborate with you in the past, here and there.
Yes.
I was attending your mastermind classes. You were always like supporting women to help us to really find our true passion. And that was amazing. And I see that now you took it to the next level, and I'm very happy for you. The other thing that I would like to ask you is, if you had a chance to go back and talk to Paulina, 18 years old, what advice would you give her in terms of personal finance?
Personal finance, I would say the first thing is save, save, save. Forget about those brand names. Forget about looking cute. I mean, as women, we all like the trends and we like the beauty. That's a nature part of who we are. But when it comes down to saving money, you also have to be mindful of what you actually need. What do you specifically need? And also where to invest your money. It's all about the value that you see in things. And, you know, that was quite a learning experience for me. I learned that the hard way.
It happens. As you can see, I've been a financial advisor for over 20 years. Sometimes we don't have our priorities as we should. And especially in the Latino community, here our audience, most of them are Latina women. You know, that's what our parents showed us. So we were taught when you were younger, we didn't really have those conversations about, you know, business or how we're gonna go to college or who's gonna pay for the funeral if something happens. For example, there is not an emergency fund. As you know, with the pandemic, a lot of women, they had to quit their job because they didn't have any help to take care of the children at home, you know, taking classes online. So it was truly a huge challenge for a lot of women that decided to reinvent themselves. And they said, I can go to work, I need to take care of my family. And it's been like I don't know if you noticed, but like a boom, right? A lot of women decided to start their own business and follow the true passion, but certainly there are a lot of mistakes that could happen. So if you could share a little bit more about your personal experience when you started your business, what is what you did that you didn't really get the results that you were looking for, and what was the learning lesson?
Well, you shared a key point here about emergency fund. That is key. So for any one of you out there that have a side hustle and a job, the emergency fund is key. And not that many companies want to hear this, but if you do have that side hustle, your company funds that side hustle to some degree if you know how to manage your money. But what I would say I experienced specifically is, as I said before, not investing in the right things. And one thing that was a game changer for me was investing in myself and my growth. That was where the real return on investment was, because, and I share specifically around getting my own professional development and taking classes, training, certifications. You don't necessarily have to go back to get any specific masters or anything. Credentials are key, but there's certifications for specific needs that you can seek out there for that level of growth. But I would say, yes, knowing where to invest and always invest in your growth, personal growth specifically.
Yeah, and that's amazing because, as you know, with this digital revolution, we have pretty much everything at the fingertips. It's just a matter of you really looking for that, being proactive, and manage the time, because obviously, as you know, a lot of people, they say, oh, no, I don't have time for that, or I'm too busy, or as I always say, there's never the right time, right? You will never have, or you will never find the right time to do something that you really want to do. So you just have to be prepared, have an emergency fund, as you just mentioned, which is crucial, and invest in yourself, because I love what you said about, you want to look cute and all that, but it's something that we can actually give this advice to our daughters or children to really have a vision long term. And as you can see, we don't really have that culture of prevention or to have the certainty of what is what I'm going to do in 15, 20, 30 years. How am I going to buy my first home? All these things that are, I think I honestly, I consider myself, a financial advocate, because all of us, we have the right to learn how to create wealth, how to grow it, how to preserve it, and how to transfer it to the future generations, because, I want my grandchildren to already have a legacy. And this is something that we don't really talk about it on a day-to-day, basis. And it's great that you're touching that topic and thinking about that. How important it is to invest in yourself, you just mentioned, right? But how important it is to invest in your business.
Absolutely. That is a huge part of it. So one of the things that I see very much so as I support women in growing, launching their own businesses, is that they put their monies into, obviously, the outer experiences. They focus on making pretty websites and so on. And what I say is the first thing you have to do is make money. You don't even need the website to work with your first client. You don't need a website to sell your first product. You can do that immediately, because the only excitement that you're going to have is when that money starts to flow. And that is when you can start growing the business. That's when you can start allocating funds where needed. But it starts with you focusing on income generating activities immediately.
I agree with you 100%. I have also another woman, she said, if I don't do something, nothing happens. So the fact that you have to be proactive is so obvious, right? But sometimes you're right. People, they just focus on, I want to have the pretty office, I want to have this and that. And you have to go on the field, and you have to be on the phone, and you have to do these things. Obviously, corporate image or your personal brand is very important, but it shouldn't be the focus since you want to generate income.
Correct. No, I love that.
So that's great, Paulina. And I know that we here in Hablando Entre Mujeres will receive your invitation to your next event. So I'm very excited to hear more details about it. Can you share with the audience, please?
I'm excited to have you there and hope that the audience can make it. So we are hosting our 7th annual Entrepreneur Summit on Saturday, October 22nd at the classic TWA Hotel at JFK Airport. And it's either a full day Saturday where you come in and you hear from industry expert speakers and panelists, and also connect with other incredible entrepreneur women and business women. You also get to implement those strategies. If you invest in the second day, which is the Sunday, you actually get to take away everything you learned on Saturday and put that into action on Sunday. And of course, there's the opportunity to stay with us the entire weekend if you choose to stay at the hotel. So a huge networking component built right in, but more importantly, growth and business building opportunities.
Paulina, that sounds so exciting, and definitely we're gonna share the word so people can save their spot, because I know it's happening very, very soon, and we wish you here all the success, of course. And besides this event, if you could share a little bit more about other activities that you're working on.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a big believer that every single entrepreneur and business owner should be focusing on the mapping out the year to come as early as the last quarter of the year. So we are all set for 2023. We're excited to start with our very first women's conference in January, which is supporting the women to balance out their masculine and feminine energies. We know energy is everything in business, and it's called the Divine Feminine Conference. That's happening in January. And then in April, we're all set for the much anticipated wellness retreat in the Dominican Republic. This will be the 6th annual, where we come together as a sisterhood, step away from our businesses, our families, and really focus on our self-care and setting boundaries intentionally, lovingly, and more importantly, surrounded by incredible women that get you. So that is by far my favorite of all.
That's amazing. And I can't believe it's the 6th one already.
Yes, exciting.
Nice. That's great. Paulina, if you could share a little bit more about your personal finance with your family, which are some of the best practices that are working right now with you, with your family, and what is something that you would like other women to do so they can help and improve in their financial wellness?
Well, the first thing is awareness of a realistic budget. So coming together as a family and having a budget on a monthly basis, weekly basis, whatever works for your specific needs, having that awareness of where money's coming in and going out is critical. It's crucial, because Hesy, we just swipe that credit card left and right and completely forget how much we're actually spending on a daily basis. But when you're able to have that awareness, then you know where to cut back. And it's got to be a family dynamic. It's got to have a support system, because if one person is spending more than the other, and I say this specifically for those couples and partners out there, and even with your children, we have to set those boundaries with our very own children and teach them very early on the importance of budgeting and spending wisely.
Absolutely, Paulina. And as you know, here in Hablando Entre Mujeres, the main focus is the financial empowerment. And we also promote for families to have these meetings to talk about money, which is something that we don't really do. My kids, they already know how much is a gallon of milk, what if you purchase a new app, and all these things. So not only is going to help them to be financially responsible, but when they grow up and they have their own family, that's going to help them to make more informed and smart decisions about their money. And savings, of course, it is crucial. Not only when, our kids, they say, I need $20, right? Yes, but how about you earn $20? So we need to teach them the value of, first of all, time, right? Money and work. That's something that is very subjective. So I think we should do that. Yes, you want it, but let's earn it. And that definitely is going to help them to be more financially responsible. That's great, Paulina. I really love having this conversation with you, because the financial wellness goes together with your business and your health in general. As you know, there is financial stress, there is financial violence. There are so many things that sometimes people, they're not aware of. And everything comes down about having, peace of mind, that you don't have to, stressed out about how am I going to pay my bills, how am I going to send my kids to school, all these things that we just don't talk about. And it's very important for a woman to take action.
I love that. I'm all about inspired action. Thank you, Hesy. I think you're doing a phenomenal service to women and families, specifically to mujeres Latinas that we didn't have this level of education, and we lose ourselves in this lack of information. We lose ourselves as moms, as wives, in our careers, and having this information is empowerment. And that's why I honor you so much for everything you're doing.
Likewise, Paulina, definitely. And I think we all can contribute a little bit and give a word of advice to the person next to us. And I think we can make a big difference if we are committed to really help each other and promote financial wellness. And everything should be integral, because if our pocket is not good, we're not going to be good. We're going to be sad and depressed, and then you won't be able to do anything. Okay, Paulina, so I would like to ask you to share with us your final advice. What is something that every woman should know with taking care of their business?
Community is everything. Sisterhood is everything. I think it's so important to surround yourself with the right women, the right people they get you, that want to support you, and be a resource for others. Same way you're getting information for yourself, you want to provide resources for others. So it's important that you don't take this path alone. Find people that you trust, mentors, advisors that can support you in this journey. You don't have to go through this alone. And more than anything, just keep thriving, stay positive and keep thriving. And of course, I want to thank you, Hesy, and Hablando Entre Mujeres. This has been phenomenal. And again, I'm grateful to co-create with you and create an impact together.
Absolutely, and thank you for being here with us, Paulina. So it's been great having you today, and I will see you on the 7th Annual Summit of the Business of We. Te mando un abrazo.
Gracias, igualmente.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.